welcome back to Stitch with Me, Stitch and Chat. I'm Allison Rosen, and today we are working on a full coverage piece that I converted myself using the Wind Stitch program that I purchased online. It does a really great job of converting a picture image to a cross stitch pattern. I was actually really concerned about this one because it is so detailed, but so far I really like how it's turning out. It's the same one I stitched on in the last Stitch with Me, and I neglected to tell you that this is the upper left hand portion of the chart, and it is upside down because the image itself is like a north and a south, so the north part is upside down in the image that I converted. So the bottom is right side up, but this is actually going to be upside down in the finished product. So that's why it's upside down here. It's not the way my, camera is set up or whatever. Speaking of camera setup, it's not so good. Stupidly, when I moved last, I decided, I probably don't need my tripod, and got rid of it. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, because I kept this tripod that I'm using now, but it's just not, it's not as flexible as the other one in terms of how I can set it up for a Stitch with Me. So we'll be looking into improving the quality of these videos so that it's more fun to watch. But hopefully you have something to stitch, or you have a diamond painting to work on, or you're doing some other craft or chore or fun thing where listening is more important than seeing the individual stitches that I'm doing. Hopefully that is the case. I want to thank everyone that came by and checked out the first return video that I posted last week. It was really nice to be welcomed back. It made me feel good that people kind of remembered me from, it's 3 years since I posted my last video, which, time flies. Excuse me. That's kind of crazy. And let's see. So I just wanted to kind of give a little chitty chatty with you today. I have to tell you a story. So last week while I was doing the Stitch with Me, my car was actually in the shop because, and I don't think I mentioned it at all last week, but I had brought my car in, and it had been making noises that I couldn't really pinpoint. I'm like, is it suspension? Is it shocks? It's just making like this rattling sound that and like kind of when I go over bumps, it makes a louder sound. So it was just hard to describe. Anyways, they call me, your car's ready. Turns out the problem was missing bolts on the brake calipers. And I said, missing bolts, like they don't just fall off. What? And he said, well, did you have your brakes looked at recently? And I said, yeah, Honda, repaired my brakes last year. And I said, oh, yeah, they didn't put the bolts back on. So I've been driving around with the calipers, and this is how he explained it to me, because trust me, I'm no mechanic. The caliper's not actually screwed into place, so it was just like kind of floating along back there. And when I went over a bump, they moved too. And so I asked, like, did it cause any further damage? Like, will I be like, basically, did it cause any more damage? And he said, no, you were lucky because it could have smashed into your tires and caused them to be worn, or just like blow it out completely and you would have had an accident. And I said, okay. So he suggested that I call Honda, which I haven't yet because honestly life is busy, and what are they going to say? Sorry, we didn't put your bolts in. Like, yeah, I mean, I will call them eventually, probably maybe even later today, and just say like, hey, I had say what I basically just said to you. So that'll be an interesting conversation when the time comes. Yeah, I was pretty surprised. I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I'm in the right spot. So here I am working on this project. And let me ask you guys something. So I don't park because I hate parking. Because the strings hanging down, they just get on my nerves. They make me unsettled, let's say. Like just having all the floss down. And yes, I have the bobbin things that you can roll them on. And I have tried it. I've also tried it where you park with needles on the thread still and you have them all lined up. That drove me crazy because they just got all tangled with each other. So the problem when you don't park though, and I'm sorry, I have allergies or resin problems. I don't know, like I said in my last video. So when you don't park, see how I'm filling in like these little one-off stitches? That's what happens. You end up with these like tiny little stitches that you have to go in and fill in. And more importantly, you end up with spots where you have to start with just a tiny little space to start in. And when it's very confetti heavy, that can be really messy. Like over here, like my stitches aren't laying nicely because I had to get into a tiny little spot to start my stitch. And so it's a toss-up. Like, do I really hate parking that much that my stitches don't look so good? Or should I just park in very confetti heavy spots? Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on parking versus heavy confetti? And, picking, I pick a color and I do that color till I'm out of floss or it's just too far out of where I'm comfortable counting to. And then I just go pick the next color in line and repeat the process. So that I'm filling in, like this part's completed. It's not confetti here, but like it was confetti before I got to it, you see? So I'm trying to decide like, okay, how badly do I hate parking? And how much would I keep it? I don't know. I don't know what to do because the stitches don't lay very nice when you shove them into spots that are already stitched. But parking's so annoying. It's too much starts and stops. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on parking? Are you a parker, or are you a cross-countryer? Are you an extreme cross-countryer? Which I could not see counting that much. I commend people who do it, but I don't think I'm talented enough for that. Yeah. It's not as big a deal in diamond painting because like you just put something you're left with something extra that you have to decide what to do with. You just put your diamonds away and pick another color. And then of course you forgot one, so you have to go back and fill in a space because you forgot one. So that is Yeah. What do you do? And yeah. How do you... And I guess it also depends on how you start and stop your threads, because I'm in the wrong spot. I do a single thread loop start to start, so I don't have to, I don't bury anything. I don't do an away knot. I don't do anything like that. I just start in the spot where I'm going to start with a single thread loop start. And if you want to know how to do that, there are videos on it. And if you want me to show you, just leave a comment and I'm happy to do that one day. And then I stop by doing a pin stitch. I guess a modified pin stitch. So I don't know if that's part of the problem of getting the stitches to not lay nicely. I just don't know. But I do know I really don't want to park. Maybe I have to try it again. Every time I try it, I'm like, I hate parking. And then I go back and finish all my threads. Because you don't get very far when you park. You just, like, it's, like I said, it's so much starting and stopping. So hard to decide. I've been watching Needlebug. Her name's Karen. Been watching a lot of her videos lately, and she does some really good, like, what does she call them? Book of knowledge videos where she teaches you something, like a certain technique. Like she did one on all different ways to start and stop your threads. She's done them on parking. She did one on how to get your stitches to lay nicer, which when by lay nicer, I mean not slip under the thread. You know when you're doing 1/1, sometimes your thread can just slip right under the stitch, under the fabric, and you're like, well, where did it go? She did a video that is the first time I actually like really understood someone's explanation of it, because I've tried in the past, and her video was fantastic. So I really appreciated that. Her Needlebug. Yeah, if you look her up, she has some really good videos on how to cross stitch better. And then she also does Stitch with Me's, and I think regular floss tubes as well. I don't know that I've watched one yet, though. I don't intend to do regular floss tubes because I don't do any stitching except this. So what, I have like a couple full coverage that I've started. But like, what would I show you? Like, here's this full coverage piece. I did 500. Like it just seems silly to do a floss tube with the way I stitch. So I'll just be doing Stitch with Me's, and that's what I like to do anyway. I used to like diamond paints with Me's, and now I like Stitch with Me's. I am, however, planning to do a video on how I set up for a full coverage, because the way I do it, I'm always set up for a full coverage. It doesn't matter which one I pull out, I'm ready to go. And all my floss is just always ready to go. And I'll show you that. And then I'll also show you how I pull the floss for a certain part. Not like a part, but like the next upcoming stitches that I just find make it easier. Once you sit down to stitch, it's like you can don't have to thread. They're all threaded for me, but they're very organized at the same time. I did just do that one. And I'll show you how I do that. Let me just pull that out for a second. Did I show you guys this last time? So, this is falling out my frame. But I have this set up, and it's a little canvas from the Dollar Tree. These are also from Dollar Tree. They're actually kind of in like their tools area, and they are felt pads to put under your furniture so that they glide better. It came in a pack with these circle ones and 2 larger ones. And then this is just medical tape that I just taped onto the canvas so that I could take it off and put a fresh one down and put more numbers on it. Because if I wrote right on the canvas, I could only use it once. So I write down, I go through the pattern and I pick out in Pattern Keeper which ones I still have to stitch. And then I'll write down the DMC numbers here. Then I'll do like a whole session. I've actually got 2 of these ready to go. Well, 1.5 now. And I just ordered more needles because I want to do even more prep work because I'm crazy that way. So when it comes to using a color for the next, however many I could prepare in advance, I just have to pull it from here. It's already threaded, it's ready to go. And I like this better than stopping, finding the color, pulling it out, putting it away. I find this much quicker to do a stitching session. Yes, there is setup time, but it's kind of like 2 different activities. So I just look at it as not a waste of time, but just something different to do with my hands, And it makes my stitching go by more easily. And I love you can't see it, the ball tip needles that you can get. They have like just a little ball on the end. I love those way more than a regular tapestry or cross stitch needle. And so because I'm doing this, and yes, this is already a lot of prepared needles, I'm just nuts, but because I'm doing this, I want to like prepare as many as I can. And so I was like, well, I'll just go order some more. Oh my good Lord, the price has gone up on those needles. I checked in Etsy. The last time I ordered them, I paid about $2.89 a needle. And that was, 2 years ago. And now, I'm just trying to, why is this so turned? Okay. And now I just looked, they're $4 a needle for the ball tip ones. They're crazy. So I found as best price as I could on like a bulk supply of them. And I spent $75 on 20 needles. What the? But I also made some money selling grab bags of the charms that I had said last time I was going to do. So I had a little bit of play money to get those needles with, but my goodness, I could not. I was like, for needles? Are you kidding me? Like at first I put them in my cart. I saw the price and I was like, I don't think so. Closed the app, walked away, and said, I'll just make do with what I have. And then I went back and got them. The next time I was sitting preparing needles, I was like, I wish I had more needles. And I just bit the bullet because honestly, these needles don't really wear down. I've had them forever. I've never had to throw one away. I've never had a problem with the eye getting bad. And of course they don't go dull because they have a ball tip. They're not pointy at all to begin with. So they're not a temporary investment, is the way I was thinking about it is, they're a long-term investment. So I decided to just bite the ball tip needle and get some more. So I'm waiting for those to come in. and then I can sit and prepare to my heart's desire. When you set up a painting, do you ever like thread needles in advance? Or do you just pull what you need, thread it, and then carry on from there? I really only started threading them when I moved to this place because the way I'm set up here is not as easy to reach everything as it was in my old place. I got rid of some furniture that I was using in my cross stitch setup, maybe without thinking it through very well. And so it just doesn't work the same way anymore. And so I started threading them in advance. And I have to say, I really like threading them in advance. I did do it a while ago, but what I did was I just cut off a piece of foam core board and then stuck the needles in the film core, just like, pretend this is a threaded needle, and just like stuck it in like that and wrote the number under it. But the needles kept getting unthreaded. Like as I pulled one out to work on it, if it was caught on another one, I just unthreaded that one, and then I didn't know what color it went to, and so it was kind of making a bigger mess than it was solving. So I stopped doing it that way. And then I realized maybe for this new setup I should start again. So I went to the Dollar Tree where I buy the foam core, and they didn't have any. So that forced me to look around and come up with another solution, which is the one I just showed you. And I really like that solution. It's working out quite well for me. Yeah, I like it a lot. The other thing I've been looking into is thimbles. Now, I don't really use a thimble. I never have. I don't find them comfortable at all. But I do love the leather thimbles that stick to your fingers. I'll show you. I will show you. Un momente. Let me just stick this right there. Let me just mark off my stitches before I don't remember what I stitched. You don't mind, do you? No, of course you don't, because you're nice people. Did not do that one. Okay. Yeah, I love my pattern keeper. Would not do this without it. Okay, that's done. So I like, these come in a pack. They're like leather thimbles. And I used them for years and years and years. But you see, now they're like thick. And I don't like them as much. They're too thick on my fingers. They used to be much thinner, and then all of a sudden, they're thick. And they've also doubled in price since I started using them. So I started searching online. Did anyone else notice they got thick? And yes, people did, but what can you do? And then someone posted where they decided to try Band-Aids, like the fabric-covered Band-Aids. So I did a lot of trial and error. And I found these Band-Aids that are like the fabric-covered kind. And I use them on my thumbs. On my little thumbs, I have the pads right there. They just help me grab the needle. So I was putting these on, like this, on my thumb. And they were working well. Not great, not bad. And then I read, I'm searching Amazon, and when you buy Band-Aids, they suggest other things to you. So they suggested moleskin, and I bought a few different kinds. These moleskin are like for, if your shoes hurt you. I don't know. These ones I got, they're pre-cut. They're still too big, so I cut them down. Did not like this one. They're fuzzy. My needle kept getting stuck in it. This kind came in a sheet and better than the other ones, but the tape gets exposed very easily and was starting to stick to my threads. Didn't love that. And then, not bad, but didn't love it. And then I got this rule, and that's what I'm using right now. It's thicker than the others. The tape doesn't, like, while it kind of sticks out a bit on the edges, it doesn't, so far it has not stuck to my thread or my needle or anything like that. So I'm very excited about this one. This is so far my favorite. But I also have coming today, because I was taking a better look at these sticky dots. And I thought, are they leather? What are they? Like, what are they actually made of? And they're definitely suede. I've decided that there's some sort of suede. And definitely, maybe not definitely, but I think they're more of a suede. This is a new one. Showing an old one. So I ordered a sheet of self-adhesive suede that I'll just cut down and see if that works better. Because, like I said, I didn't love these anymore. And I'm sorry, I'm not paying almost $1 a thing for a little sticky dot. Do you know what I mean? They're quite reusable, but then they get gross and they don't stick so well anymore, and they start sliding down your thumb to a different position. And they don't grasp as well, so the jury's out, but I'll let you know. But if you wanted to try, I think the fabric band-aids do a great job. The moleskin rule does a better job. I'll link them below for you. And the suede is coming tonight, and I'll wait to post. I'll update the link below if it's any good. So I think that's about it for today. Thank you for stitching with me and chatting with me a little bit. Hope you found something in here a little bit entertaining, maybe a little bit useful, or maybe not at all. Heck, I don't know. And, until next time, don't forget to stay cool. Don't forget to stay cool. All right, ciao.